Good day and welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about lists. So I've cleared out my browser and the only thing there's an H1 heading which says list, and you can see that in my Visual Studio. So I'm just quickly going to write another heading in form of H2, and then the first type of list we're going to be talking about is unordered list. I'm quickly going to save that, then go over to my browser to have a look. So it's looking good to me. Switch back to my Visual Studio and then let's continue. So in order to write list, it still takes the same format but is somehow slightly different, such as it is nested into one another. And what do I mean? For unordered list, we first write the keyword UL, meaning unordered list. So I'm really going to click enter, and then in between it I'll write what I want to be listed out. So let's keep things simple, and for me to write what is going to be listed out, I'm going to write it in between another tag called LI, meaning list items. So I'll click on enter again, and then I can write what I want to be listed out. So for the first one, I'm going to keep it simple by writing 1. I'll come outside, still in between the UL opening and closing tag. I'll write another list item by writing LI again, then going on to write 2. I'll quickly save it, then go over to my browser to take a look, and as we can see that we have 1 and then 2. So let me quickly write more items and let's see how it looks like. So another list item LI, enter, going to write 3, and then let's keep going, LI 4, let's keep going, LI, and then 5. This looks okay to me. Going back to my web browser to take a look, and then 1 2 3 4 5. So these are unordered lists, and we can see them by they are being represented by these dots. We can also have nested lists such that a list will be inside another list. Let's quickly take a look at how it is. So going back to my code editor, I'll write another UL, which means unordered list, and then in between it I can write another list item, and this one I write nested 1. Going to write another LI, meaning another list item, then going to write nested 2. Save it to take a look at how it is, then I'll go over to my browser and then reload the page, and as you can see 1 2 3 4 5, then nested 1, nested 2. We can actually see that it's like these two are actually a sub of these 5. We can come outside the nested list and then continue with our normal numbering, which is outside this UL tag, and then we can continue with another list item LI, and then write 6. Save it, go over to our browser and then reload the page, and as we can see, this is a list inside a bigger list, a smaller list inside a bigger list, and you can go on and on by nesting. So let me quickly explain what I've done so far. So we are talking about list, and the first type of list I started with is the unordered list, or it can be easily represented by using the keyword UL, which means unordered list, and it has an opening tag and a closing tag. For us to actually list out the items that we want to be listed out, we actually need to use the word LI, which means list item, and in between the opening and closing tag we can write out whatever things we would like to list. And then we can also have a list inside another list, such as this UL is the main list. We have another UL which is this, which serves as a sub list of the main list, and then we can start another list, and I did so by naming it as nested 1 and nested 2. With this sublist, I then came outside it and continued inside the main list, which is within the opening and closing tag of the unordered main list, and I continued by writing 6. If you don't understand, you can quickly pause the video and then replay it over until you actually get it. It's actually simple, and just play around with it until you finally understand what it is. So we go next to the second type of list, and which is ordered list. So let me leave some space and write another H2, which says ordered lists. Let me quickly put everything in a single line. Yeah, looks good. Quickly save it, then go over to my web browser to take a look. Yeah, so now we can start explaining the ordered list. The ordered list is just exactly like the unordered list. The only difference is that for unordered list we use UL, meanwhile for ordered list we use OL, which means ordered list, and the rest still remains the same. In between the ordered list, we then write out the list items you want to be listed out in between the LI tag. So I'm going to write LI, and let's keep things simple like usual, and then I'm going to write 1, come outside another list item, 2, come outside another list item, 3. I'm going to save it, then go over to my web browser, then reload the page, and you can see it 1, 2, 3. So we can really see the difference between the unordered list and the ordered list. The unordered list just consists of bullet points that just listed out the items, but the ordered list is more ordered, or we can say it is more differentiated because it is being given a number and it is arranged the way it is being listed out in the code editor. So if I continue writing list items by writing 4 and then another list item 5, I'll quickly save it, go back to our web browser, then reload the page. Just as we've listed it out in our code editor, the browser will also interpret it the same way and list it out also. And also in ordered list, we can also have nested list or list inside another list also. So I can come inside the ordered list, create another ordered list by writing OL, in between it create another list item, and then I can write nested 1, come outside also another list item and write nested 2. Quickly save it, go back to our web browser to take a look, and then reload the page. So it's a list inside another list. Not only can we actually nest an ordered list inside another ordered list, we can also nest an unordered list inside another an ordered list. So let me quickly explain what that means. Since this is OL, I can quickly change it to UL, come over to the closing tag and also change it to UL. So this is an unordered list inside an ordered list. Quickly save it and then go over to our web browser to take a look at it. And as you can see, this is an unordered list inside an ordered list. So we can actually put the two types of lists together. The browser will interpret it accordingly and then display the information for us. So it's not only one type of list that we can actually nest. We can actually nest the two types of lists. I'm going to go over to our code editor, and then let me quickly erase this nested one because I quickly want to explain something else, and that is called attributes. So what is attributes? Attribute can simply be put that all these HTML tags will actually writing has attributes. And what do I mean? Attributes are like features that this HTML tag possesses that can actually be changed or they can be called upon. For example, attribute can be compared to a phone. A phone can easily serve functions or the main function is such as scrolling. It can also do other functions like taking a picture and also playing game. Once you are taking a picture with a phone, it doesn't make it any less of a phone. It still remains a phone. And also when you are playing a game, it also still remains a phone. And there are some games that even take inputs such as the player's username and password so as you can log into the player's account. Like one of my favorite game, Call of Duty. So such as this ordered list is that attribute that you can easily call upon that can make things more suitable and you can actually modify attributes that can take in input. So enough thought and let me show you what that means. In this opening tag, we can quickly, after writing the leave a space, and one of the attributes of ordered list is called reversed. So by writing this keyword reversed and save it, let's see what it does. Let's quickly go back to our web browser and then reload the page. Well, you can see the difference is clear. Previously it was 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, but because we have actually entered the a word called reverse which is an attribute of this ordered list, it doesn't make it any less of a list. It still remains a list, but it can actually perform other functions, and one of the functions it can do is this reverse keyword, making the numbering in an inverse order. So as we have seen now, instead of it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just by calling this word reversed. So let me quickly give you the first challenge in this tutorial. Now that, okay, let me quickly erase this reversed and then let me keep it simple. Quickly save it, then go over to our web browser to reload it and make sure that the changes are effected and it's back to normal. So the challenge is make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make it in form of Roman numerals such as it will be IV, and then V. The hint is that you will actually need to browse, and this is the time for me to introduce this when it comes to solving issues or when it comes to debugging. As a programmer, you will encounter a lot of challenge, a lot of issues in the future while you're writing code. Some of it you might be able to solve easily by just looking through your code and then finding the error, but some you might not be able to get, such as when you want to write specific functions to perform a specific task, such as changing these Arabic numerals to Roman numerals. For you to easily do that, you can easily go over to Google and then search for it. So it's nice for you to actually cultivate the habit of going over to Google and then searching for your problem, and not only that, how to apply the knowledge you've actually learned online into your code and making sure it works perfectly fine without breaking your code. But not only should you also copy and paste it, you should also understand what you are reading, and even if you do not, you can still get someone to explain it for you, or you can sit down yourself and look at it and review it time and time again until you finally get a grasp of it. So the challenge is change these Arabic numerals into Roman numerals. You'll be needing an attribute for sure, but I'm not going to tell you the name. The hint I'm giving is that you will need to actually go to Google, and there are various resources out there such as Stack Overflow, the MDN, W3 Schools. There are a lot of them out there that you can easily browse for your problems and then you easily see them listed. So go ahead, try out this challenge, pause the video and then try it out. Good luck. Well, how was it? Hope you managed to do that. So let's quickly go over the challenge again. I said we should be able to change these Arabic numerals to Roman numerals, and let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to open a new tab and then I'm going to browse for ordered list H, list HTML, and then click on enter, and then mm, let me try the first link, HTML ordered lists. So let's see how it is. So I'm looking for how to change it an Arabic to Roman. And from here we can see the type attribute of the OL tag defines the type of the list item micro. Type equals to 1. This list item will be numbered with numbers, and as we can see in brackets, default, that means this is the default type. So this means that there is a attribute called type, and this type taking an input, and the input will determine how the ordered list to be numbered. We have type equals to A. This item will be numbered with uppercase letters. Type equals to small letter A. This list will be numbered with lowercase letters. So you can go on and read about it. But the one I'm interested in is in Roman numeral, and the last one, which says type equals to I. The list items will be numbered with lowercase Roman numerals. So it looks like we've seen what we are looking for. So I'm going to quickly go over to my code editor, and then with this place I'm going to write type. Just as I have said before that some attribute takes in input, example like this type. So I've seen the one I'm looking for, which is this last one, I. Quickly save it, then go over to my web browser, then reload the page, and as you can see, it automatically changes to the Roman numeral format. So we've seen that this attribute is actually very important, and it helps coding easy. Imagine you trying to write a bunch of code on by yourself on how to convert the Arabic numerals into Roman numerals. Meanwhile, there's already an attribute you can easily tap into just by giving it an input. You can determine how the ordered list to be numbered. So knowing attributes and knowing how it works is a good way to also make programming easier for you. But most importantly, knowing how to search for a specific issue or knowing how to search for a problem that you are facing while coding is another key talent that we as programmers need to have. Not only just writing code, we also need to know how to debug code and how to search, and also putting our problems into words so that we can easily type it into Google and then search for it online. So I hope with this video you've been able to understand list and how it can work, and also understand attributes and how it also helps programming, how it makes programming easier. So we've come to the end of this video, and if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.